Hello, my name is Alexander Moraire, and I'm the founder of ITKeyMedia. You've tuned into our podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-Series A stage. And our guest today is Igor Lavrinovics, the co-founder of Sell.xyz. Sell is a one-stop solution for retailers, and also retailers to be, or wannabes, I should add, and solution for them to design and source products. And Sell is connecting retailers to print providers, manufacturers, and designers, all in one place. It's like a marketplace of marketplaces, should I say?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, good. For a warm-up, here's the question. What made you think that to delete barriers of entry into retail market is a good business? Because this is what you're doing. You're destroying barriers of entries, okay?
Yes, correct. But not only that. So like the whole entire team comes kind of from the field of building businesses, right? And creating the startups and then scaling them up. And while we were doing that with our team, we kind of figured out that there are certain things which you need to put your focus and attention to in order for your company to succeed and be successful in the end of the day. Yeah. But in between all those things, you have so many other things to build, from starting your own brand to actually, selling your product to your customers. And sometimes, and actually oftentimes, entrepreneurs get caught up in those things and they lose the touch with those most important ones. And therefore, the business kind of prone to failure at some point. So our goal with Sell.xyz services to help those entrepreneurs to actually increase their success by us taking off their shoulders something which we can do on their behalf, and them to be focusing on the things which they have to do as a business owners, like sales, marketing, customer service, things like that.
Good. So I see there an obvious pitfall that probably you don't take into consideration too much because it's against your, should I say, like marketing and PR kind of positioning. You think that all the retailers that want to be retailers, your clients, that they are all artistic personalities and they focus only on combination of flavors and all of that. Why don't you think that many of them are pure business people as well? I mean, business minded, and they're not creative minds, more of a, business minds. And for them, they see the potential in optimizing the non-creative part of their business, so to say. Because what you say right now, I understand you treat all of your potential clients as like, high level kind of haute couture from perfumery kind of business or similar, which is not the case, right?
Yeah, well, it's also only partially the case. We actually work with a lot of entrepreneurs who just kind of want to be entrepreneurs, right? The guys and gals who just want to start their own side hustle, or maybe start their own business, or someone who actually already have the business. And we actually helping them to jumpstart the business, because in the beginning of that, for example, they don't want to lack up any capital to actually be used for the stock or inventory, which actually we are helping them with. So with that, I want to say we kind of helping them on the creative part as well as offline part of the business, which still need to be taken care of, from actually taking care of storage and warehousing to providing our self-designed web studio, as we call it, to actually be creative and create your customization for your products.
You help them, you introduce them on stage and so on, but also you make them dependent heavily on your product, on your platform and your services, for good or bad. I mean, for good mostly, right? And this probably should be a breach already into the first round, the solution itself. How would you traditionally write the first paragraph in Wikipedia article about your company?
Yeah, so in one sentence, right? I can give you one sentence and then I can expand on that if you don't mind. So Sell.xyz is everything on demand dropshipping platform for product sourcing, customization, and selling. In other words, we help entrepreneurs to build their own brands, create their own products, customize them by applying their brand identity onto those products by providing them automation optimization tools, online tools, and then start selling them on their own online stores.
Claire, let's take the most challenging product categories that you want to cover. I mean, t-shirts, hoodies, all of that, that's easy. And that's not unique and so on. What I liked, what caught my eye basically is that you ventured into, should I say, chemical stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, we do cosmetics and supplements.
Yeah. So as far as cosmetics, your potential client, I would buy something white label and then put my branding I buy wholesale, and then I put my branding, and then I do some marketing magic and so on, and that's where I get my margin, right? Or would you prefer somebody with unique recipes or unique, you know, perfumery kind of substances? Yeah.
Okay, so what we do is we actually kind of source those products from manufacturers and suppliers all over the world. So we establish relationships with manufacturers and suppliers, again, like on our side. That means that that merchant, as we call them, our clients, they don't need to do that. They don't need to input their time and effort into actually researching the market, see what kind of suppliers or manufacturers out there, whether they compliant with the local legislation, and whether they produce the product according to the local requirements, right? And things like that. So we source those products, we work with those manufacturers and suppliers and establish relationship with them. We have the whole team on doing so, and then we can provide the high quality product to our customers. And we call it stock formulas. That means the product already formulated with all the ingredients and things like that. But we also have customization of those products. That means that the client can order the custom formula with us, working privately with us, and we can actually customize his or her formula for them to be completely unique on the market, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Let's take, yeah, let's stick to cosmetics. So
Okay.
imagine I want to introduce a new cosmetics line for men. Let's call it Morari perfumes, whatever, Morari VIP, whatever. Yeah. So let's call it Morari. Okay. And so what would you suggest me to do based on your platform? So do I mention to you what flavors I would like to have, and then you send me tests, you know, testers, I mean, and then I say, add a little bit more of a cucumber smell to this, or, you know, more like chili, or colder, or more summer like flavors and so on. Would you do this for me, or I just buy off the shelf white label and just, as I said, just brand it according to my wish and go into the market?
Yeah, everything starts with the point where you just take a look at our product selection, right? And you see what we already have, because we would prefer to start collaboration with you, with any of the merchants from this point of view, right? So we have this selection of the products, which, by the way, initial catalog, initial product selection was kind of done by us through the user interviews, talking to the suppliers, seeing what are the best sellers out there, what are the trends in the cosmetics right now around the world, and things like that. But then we expand the catalog based on our merchants' idea and based on our merchants' request, which they, on the other hand, get from their customers. So we now expanded our catalog and expanded our product selection based on their ideas. As a matter of fact, in 1 week, we're going to be launching like 37 different products, and none of them were our guess game. Like, what would they like, right? That was the request from all our merchants, what they're already ready to sell. And therefore, we're going to launch it, and we expect them to start selling them right away, because the customers are already waiting for those products. So this is the first starting point. And as soon as you start selling our products, and then you can kind of suggest the additional products to be added to the catalog, we compile all that, work with each of the merchants on that, and then we kind of expand our catalog on a kind of monthly and sometimes even weekly basis. And our goal is to expand it all the time and make it like a living organism based on our feedback, which is coming from the merchants.
Okay, I will stick to my vocabulary and change a little bit the perspective. So you are providing a catalog of white label products that I choose from.
Exactly.
In the simplest situation, I choose from, I brand it as I wish, and sell through channels that I choose, like geographies, and so on and so on. Okay, so what's the risk, you would say, at some point in the future? What's the risk of stumbling into the same product with slightly different brand in the same, let's say, channel of distribution, like retail chain and so on? Do you see this? Have you seen this?
You mean
the product itself is the same. It's like, let's take Nourish and Volume shampoo, 300 milliliters, right? Which is like offered by you as a white label, and I put my brand on it, branding it, and then selling through my channels, and all of a sudden we have the same product, the same container, the same substance inside and so on. Just brand is a little bit different. Would
Mhm.
would this be okay, a situation for you? And this is the practically feasible situation, you would say?
Yeah, it's completely okay situation. It's the same like with apparel, right? Like for example, whatever, there are a lot of different companies that sell that same t-shirt, but the same quality t-shirt actually sourced from that same manufacturers. The only difference is what kind of designs and what kind of customization you do with that product, and then how you maybe combine it with other products which you already have. Because we have a lot of different merchants who not only like creating the cosmetics line with us, right? If that is a woman and she has a group of people who's actually following her already, and she's a fitness trainer, let's say, she's also interested in her supplements line, which she can combine with the cosmetics because she has this audience which is ready to buy that for her. She puts, her brand on top of it. She customizes those products. Those products are natural and organic and very high quality products, which she knows their customers will benefit out of, and she's ready to start selling them. So she does that. The same person, not the same person, but the other person can do the same thing, but combine them in different way, put a different branding on her own, and sell it to her customers. And that's how we kind of cover the broader market.
Okay, so this is key. Customization not only of the branding on the outside, but also the let's say the content itself, the ingredients within the boundaries that you create on the platform, right? It's not that I want to introduce anything that is beyond what you offer. It's just not feasible, not like practically justified, right, for you.
For now, at this point, no, but at some point,
cool.
definitely, like we have this ability, and all our manufacturers we are collaborating with and create the partnerships with, they are ready to provide the custom formulas for us based on list of our ingredients we would, request from them. So we have this ability to provide the custom formulas, as we call them, for our customers as well, but we're probably going to start doing it on the later stages.
Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. So just to make sure we cover other categories in the catalog, cosmetic supplements, but also men's clothing, women's clothing, home and living categories, apparel, widely understood, also supplements, as you mentioned. And this is not the end, right? This is just the beginning. And with bigger scale, you will be entering into new categories. What would you say is the most challenging on your pipeline? In your pipeline, the most challenging category of products in your pipeline?
Most challenging products, probably products related to like the standard POD, which is print on demand merch, like the hoodies, the all over prints, like your bags, your caps, your sweatshirts and things like that, because that requires a little bit more of technological implementation to make sure it's super flexible and you can do a lot of different things, and you can put your design not only on the front and the back, but also on the shoulders, also on the sides, on your pocket and everything. And that's, you have to kind of combine all those layers together, and it's a lot of technological kind of improvements need to be done within the system to support that. We're already halfway through there. We just launched this apparel category, and we are going to extend that with new functionalities be added to the tool.
Igor, interesting. I expected you to say this is the most challenging because it's the most crowded space or competitive, and you say technicalities are still an issue. Interesting. I mean, I didn't expect that answer. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, for us, like that's why we started with the cosmetics and supplements categories, because, for example, in cosmetics, we are the first on the market who actually started to provide all the benefits of the standard POD, and including the self-design studio tool, the mockup generator, but we applied it to the never seen before category, and we lowered it, as you already mentioned, the barrier of entrance for people. And we have a lot of interest right now for the cosmetics category. Then we added supplements, and supplements is one of the hottest categories at the same time right now as well. And we just add in the apparel category as a complementary to them. We just want to kind of, shift our clients to these new categories. And then eventually, if they want to pick up the additional ones, which we also have, they will do that because they are already familiar with us, with our customer service, with our quality of products and things like that.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I was really sure that the evolution of the catalog was a little bit different from apparel, which is like widely, popular and so on. But you started with the unique, with the new pioneering, new category. Interesting. And so And so you also said that what your platform is easily integrated with Shopify, WooCommerce, Wix, and similar. Okay.
Correct. Yes, it's already integrated, and we have the whole lineup of other platforms which we're going to be adding up on a monthly basis. So therefore, if you have more than one sales channels, not only Shopify store, but also, for example, Etsy or Wix or WooCommerce, you can easily kind of push that product which you created on our platform to all those sales channels, sell them on those sales channels. We're going to gather all those orders into our platform and fulfill and ship them on your behalf.
Yeah. Okay. So Igor, on the business side, in what countries you are currently working?
So right now
I didn't mention that, but the company was founded in Estonia?
In Latvia.
Oh, sorry, Latvia. Sorry, Latvia. Yes, of course. Like in European Silicon Valley, let's say, out of Riga. And by the way, you are now currently based in the States. You mentioned, right, in
yes.
Southern California.
Yeah, myself, South Carolina.
Carolina. And why so? Why in Carolina?
It's just because, like, at some point we saw the United States market as like 80% of all our sales, which are coming from, and therefore we wanted to be present here, because one of the most important things for our customers when we talk with them is our availability. Right, and we cannot kind of cover that availability from Latvia and Riga. But me being here and building the customer support service on the within the United States time zone, it helps us a lot to actually improve the quality of our customer service. And they're actually now ecstatic and feel ecstatic about the way we are available for them on the phone call, on the conference calls like that. And because it's a whole process to onboard the merchant and to let them to start actually selling the products and help them out, and therefore it was very needed. So therefore I just moved to the United States just to extend our market and extend our presence here.
Okay. And your merchants, I understand, can focus on the pure business or creative part and so on, but it just seems to be easy and simple. I'm sure there's complicated, convoluted logistics mechanisms, should I say, behind, right, at the back end.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we make it easier for our customers, right? With a couple of clicks in several minutes, they can literally create their own brand and push it to their online stores, and the order is going to start coming in if they already have the following and they have people who are ready to buy it. But on the other side, obviously, we are covering the inventory, as I said, so we have to invest in the inventory. Not all the categories, by the way. In some cases, we work with the suppliers who actually can also cover the fulfillment process, the whole inventory process, and things like that. So we just integrate with them. So not only we integrate with the third-party platforms like e-commerce platform, but we also integrate with our manufacturers, and we send the orders automatically to them. They fulfill them, they print them, and they put the labels on and things like that. But some categories and some products, like for example, cosmetics and supplements, we actually have our own facilities where we store them in, and we do all the fulfillment process ourselves. So we had to build the printing line. We are putting in labels, customized labels on the products. We package them, and then we schedule them for the pickup, and we just ship them to the end customers.
Okay, yeah, interesting. So you mean infrastructure or facility you mentioned, right? Literally a warehouse.
Yes. So we have the warehouse here in the United States in Mount Pleasant, where I live, and I manage the warehouse with, we have our employees, and we also have the little space back in Riga in Latvia, where we also facilitate the whole process of fulfillment and shipping. That covers Europe, and we cover the United States and Canada.
From this warehouse in South Carolina, right?
Correct. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, on the business side then. So as a merchant, what would I be expected to pay? Like how much would I share of my revenue or profit, and why so much?
Well, right now what we do is we get this price from manufacturer, right? And we are able, and I think it's worth mentioning, we are able to get this lower prices from the manufacturers because we are a bigger player in the market and they're ready to negotiate with us, and therefore we get lower prices. What we do that then, we put our margin on top of that price, and that is the price we are offering to our merchants. And then they're willing to do whatever they want. We usually kind of suggest them to put like 35-40% margin on top of that product, which is kind of they've been left with as soon as they sell their product. From our perspective, we only charge the price of the product, which already kind of calculated in our margin. We taxes and shipping fees. There is no upfront fees. There is no like membership fees, no fulfillment fees as some of our competitors have, and things like that. So we just kind of, have this straightforward pricing model where the client know precisely what they're going to pay, how much does it cost to them, and they then decide what kind of price they want to put to sell to their customers.
Just to make sure I understand correctly, of the final price, me as a merchant, I can expect to have 30-40% of the price, and rest goes to you to cover all the deliveries and manufacturing and production and so on.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And also you say what? No minimum order?
No minimum order whatsoever. So like that's why we call ourselves everything on demand. So if your client, whenever your client orders like the one piece of cosmetics or supplements or apparel, the order comes into our warehouse and we start fulfilling it and we ship it to your client. So it's like per order basis. At the same time, we offer this opportunity to order in bulk for us if you want to, right? If you have the storage space, you can easily customize your product within our platform and then just order 1,000 pieces of that product from us. We're going to do that same delivery with your own branding and delivery to the place which you have actually put on your form.
I'm almost getting itchy myself to give it a try, just out of curiosity, to be honest.
But yeah, anyways, you should. It's very fun process. It's literally, you cannot believe how fast you can do that, and you cannot believe like you're ready to start to sell because it's on your platform right there.
Yeah. I have an idea already. We'll discuss it after that.
That's great.
Igor, I think we could call this, this relationship with merchants and how merchants are like, paying you and so on. I think you could call this, as an analogy to this pay as you go, you could say pay as you sell, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. This is another point. Like you only pay us when you already got paid. That's the beauty of it. We charge you for the order, which comes to our system, but how the order appears? Well, the order had to be done and completed on the Shopify store, let's say, site, right? And how did it happen? Well, the customer paid for it, and that's how that created the order. So you already got the money with your margin in your account. Now, if you have connected your account to our platform, only at this point, we charge our part, which is less than the amount which you already gotten. So you can organize your cash flow pretty nicely, and you will never be out of money in your account if you are selling those products and we are charging you only after you sold it.
Yeah. I understand. Okay. And moreover, you don't have to go into bank loans kind of relationships and so on. Because
correct, exactly. Yeah, you don't need like starting capital to have this inventory and hold this inventory and try to find the space where you're going to put it and things like that.
So I guess you guys are knowledgeable about low manufacturing standards, like, by lean, agile, Six Sigma, or just in time, or product on hand kind of notions and so on. You need to be experts on this, right?
We have to, and we're learning as we go, obviously. And we are very fortunate enough to work with the very experienced manufacturers who are, some of them become kind of friends of ours, and they actually let us into their manufacturers, and we can see the processes of how they actually build that. So we can scale our processes on our side the same way.
Last thing here, sorry, last but one. As far as taxes, I understand you cover this as well, right? If I'm a self-employed or I have a small limited company in the States, I understand I would sell this. And let's say I sell this to a company as, let's say, corporate, gifts for Christmas or something. So I can invoice them, right? And you would cover this as well.
No, that tax you have to pay. So that's called, like, for example, we're talking about United States, it's sales tax. Every single company has to pay the sales tax in certain state what they are selling the product to. And there are some different if and when, if you have the sales certificate in that state, then we do not actually put that, include that tax in the invoice because you're going to pay it on your end. If you're not, we're going to include in our invoice. We have to withhold it from you and then pay it to the government.
Are you trying to confirm this urban truth that US tax system is very, very, very complex?
It's It is complex, yeah. But that complexity it multiplies because we have so many states, and each state is kind of a little own country with their own rules, with their own, with limits and transactions volumes and everything, all those different conditions. So from the technical perspective, if we want to cover it and we want to cover it automatically, we want to calculate it all automatically, we have to create pretty complex calculation and strategy methods, which we use on the back end to actually be able to apply, the right amount of tax on a particular order. Especially when the order consists of different types of products, because different categories can be taxed differently as well.
Yeah. So not in vain, the country is called United States of America. It's literally states, right? In many respects.
It's like working with several countries, literally.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Now, how many clients do you have right now? And are you profitable already as a pretty young company, I understand? And whatever you can share on the metrics side.
So like right now, as of the moment, we got a little bit more than 1,500 active merchants. That means the ones who actually created their accounts, they created the templates, as we call them, the product templates, they customize them, they push them to their stores, and they try to sell them with, different level of success, obviously, depending on what kind of, people they are, what kind of businesses they have, what kind of following they have. But this is the number right now. We're not profitable yet, but we are getting there. We still are looking for another round of funding for our companies, but yeah, we're working hard on sales and marketing and onboarding those merchants and helping them to actually, start to make those sales, because the more they sell, the better we feel as well.
And out of these 1,500 active users, let's say, or merchants, right, that are trying or have sold already, would you say they're still teaching you something new, or is this already polished and chiseled away and like ready product to scale?
Yeah, they are both, right? So some of the merchants who are already kind of familiar with this industry, and they maybe even done it with our competitors already, and now they maybe like us better. It's just a very easy process of onboarding, and they just push the product to their stores, and the sales just start coming in because they're already in the process. A lot of people are not familiar with the whole process. They want a little bit more of education, and we work with them and we consult them. We have the constant calls with them. They book a lot of calls with us, and they tell us how they can actually what we learn from them is that how they incorporate our physical product, what we sell to them, into maybe already something what they have. For example, digital product, right? If they have the training programs or something they're selling online, they now want to complement it with our product. And now we learn that this is the group of the potential customers which they might be interested in our product, but they don't know it yet, as that person who just suggested us that kind of business model. So now we have this knowledge, and we can approach those people who have those online programs and who did not have maybe a chance to think of the physical, and we can upsell them with the physical product and offer them to create their own product line.
Yeah. Like just go where the digital celebrities are, right? All those.
Exactly. Yeah. Influencers, whoever has this following, they can monetize that following by actually adding them value. And the high quality products, that is one of the ways how you can add value to the lives of those people or their customers, their end customers. And if you can, prove that and offer that to them, they will be willing to actually start selling it to their customers and suggest them.
Okay. For business purposes and goals, would you go as far as to allow your merchants to sell anything, including snake oil?
We kind of try to stay within the legal requirements as well, right? What kind of processes we have to go through to actually be allowed to sell certain products. Like, for example, right now we're looking at the CBD industry, CBD infused supplements and cosmetics, and we're trying to figure out what are the complications of us actually starting offering that product. We see this niche is trending, and everybody and our customers are already asking us for that. So we are trying to be prudent in this kind of in this kind with this kind of categories, but as soon as we stay within the ethic and within legality of that, we will be willing to help us customers to achieve their goals. And if that requires to adding these kind of products, and we are allowed to do that, and it's legally, ethically, and morally okay with legislation as well as our own company values, we will be ready to do that as well. Yes.
So Igor, you're saying you would be ready to sell snake oil, but it's going to be the best snake oil on the market.
Well, snake oil maybe it's not that good of an example, right? But if you're talking about CBD or something like it, we would be willing to go in that market and start helping our merchants.
Igor, let's move on. Round two, you mentioned competitors. And as far as competitive landscape, should I say Baltic countries and Baltic countries, you could say it's like a POD hub globally right now, with all the brothers and sisters of yours, like Printful, Printify, I don't know, Self-Named or similar. Why do you think this is? Why do you think this is the case? It's just because something is in the air in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, or why do you guys so much like the POD kind of business models?
Well, I think the biggest company right now on the market from POD perspective, we could take like POD apparel and life and home kind of category. Printful obviously is a leader there, and they originated in Latvia. And I think they started that movement, and they showed the opportunities. They showed that they opened up that industry, right? That industry right now, we've only taken the POD two categories, apparel, and we take the home and living. It's about from 4 to 6 billion, huge category, right? If we add supplements, if we add cosmetics, it's already about 6 to 10 billion. And if we take just the drop shipping on its own, it's 150 billion industry, which is growing like 25% every single year so far, and projected to grow from like 15 to 25% for the next 7 years. So like, I think just, we kind of felt that this is us, this is our country, these are our friends, and we know each other, a lot of people working in those companies, and you exchange information and everything. And we thought we see this huge pie, and there is enough space and place for everyone to actually get the bite of that pie and start offering, similar solution and get your own niche and just start working it and complement each other, not compete with each other so much.
Interesting. How would you complement Printful, or how would they complement you?
Yeah. So when we talk about competitors, well, first of all, we don't try to compare ourselves to competitors. We just try to model the things which we think they're successful in, and we apply them to our business model and the things what we do, and kind of adding up our uniqueness to it. But whatever competitors do, we still think like to cover the whole cycle of actually creating your own brand. From the point you create your own brand and then you start selling your product, there are so many things in between that needs to be done, which none of the competitors at this time and point of time do not cover. For example, we take, and it's kind of spread out through the different companies and different applications. For example, if you want to sell your product and you want to customize it, Sell.xyz is for that, Printful for that, Printify and Gelato. But if you want to now start to work on your packaging, and you want to customize your packaging, and you want to create your own packaging, Printful or Printify do not allow you to do that, right? They don't have this. And there are some other players on the market now which do the packaging. For example, PackHelp or Lumi, they took that niche and they do that now, right? Another thing, if you want to do the drop shipping, kind of connect the whole thing with the drop shipping, you're now using Umbrella or Spocket, right? Which are again leaders in this kind of area. But if you are a merchant, the guy or girl who just want to start your own side hustle and start selling your products, you then need to connect with so many of them to actually cover all the process of branding building process, of product line building process. So what we're trying to do, and what I'm trying to say is, we're trying to become this one-stop shop for our merchants to actually do it all, to have all the categories. That is our differentiation from the Printful and Printify. They do not have supplements, they do not have cosmetics. they only have the apparel and related to apparel, home and living categories, right? If we take like our competitor in supplements market, which is Supplefull, which by the way is also originated in Latvia, they do only supplements, right? But we see the trend, our merchants, when they come to us and start working with us, at the same time, they work with other companies as well, and they share with us this information, and they say, hey, if you guys offering cosmetics and supplements, I better off work with you because I'm interested to launch both of them. And it's a lot more convenient to be where you are because you offer that in one place. And if you guys are gonna now help me with packaging, I'm gonna be staying with you forever because now I need to, take care of the packaging on the other side of the ocean, kind of thing. So we are trying to combine all these things together to actually support that merchant and make him go through that process of creating their brand and start selling the products by using all the tools which are available in our platform.
Mm-hmm. Previously proven by trailblazers, should I say, right? So
exactly.
They created, developed, and evolved the market, but are not including as many models or opportunities or possibilities as you do, and this is your main competitive edge, right? Okay,
correct.
And still growing and improving or increasing the catalog.
In each of those categories.
So. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Igor, let's move on. Round 3, quick Q&A. I really like this round when I try to understand how our guests deal with the workload and task load and challenges and so on. What are your key productivity hacks? And again, not the tools, but the way you do things as a founder, right? Co-founder, CEO, and so on.
Okay, so like for me, I believe in energy, right? And I feel like you can be as productive or as efficient as much energy you have in your body. And we go through a lot of different activities throughout the day or the week, which can drain your energy and can increase the level of your energy. So my goal is to build my day and build my routine and build my discipline around the activities which will only contribute to the level of my energy, right? And so what do I do on this? And by the way, the energy and that energy related to my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health. And I'm trying to take care of that first. And first thing in the morning, what I do is I take care of health to get this energy. Because health, I think, is foundational thing. I know it's maybe cliche. Everybody's saying, yeah, your health is the first place. But I kind of want to point it out that I think one should take care of their health first. And therefore, I take care of the health in the mornings, because the mornings is the first thing what you do. You get up and you take care of your health. So what I do is I go for sport. I take the very cold plunge. I just literally push myself through the activities which require uncomfort. Right. And with that, I prime myself in the morning. I do the same. I do my meditation in the morning as well. I meditate and prime myself. I know how much time do we have, but I would like to maybe tell a little story. Why is that important to prime yourself and kind of tune yourself up for a day? Would you be interested in that really quick?
Yeah, go ahead, of course.
Okay, so the study been done and actually experiment been done with the two groups of people, and that happened in the mall, in like trading center, right? So what happened is they took two guys of the experimental group, and the task of those guys would be to go into the coffee shop, to bump in someone and ask them to hold their coffee cup, and then while they tie their shoes. So one guy was doing that with 100 different people in that coffee shop, and the other guy was doing the same thing. They would bump up into the person, they would ask them to hold their coffee, they would tie up their shoes, they would stand up, and they would take their coffee back and say, thank you very much. The person say, thank you, and they would just go separate ways. So one person's done it with 100 people, another one done it to the 100 people. The only difference was the one guy was handing over the hot cup of coffee. Another guy was handing over the cold cup of coffee, okay? So that was the only difference in between these two groups. What they did next is, in that mall, in that trading center, on the other side of it, they set up the kiosk, the booth, where they offered people to take the book and read the paragraph of that book, and describe and ask some of the questions of the book, and they would pay you $50 for it. And obviously they would target those people who were handed the cup of coffee to, right? And other people obviously joined and things like that. But long story short, 80 people out of each groups actually stopped by because it's easy money, and they read the paragraph. The paragraph is like 2-3 sentences. So they read it and they would ask the question, can you please describe the character of the book? How do you feel about him? What can you say? So the group what were given the hot coffee said, the guy was warm-hearted, was very helpful, was very attractive, right? In other way, they liked the character. The other group said it was cold-hearted, it was angry, it was selfish, and so on and so on. So that experiment shows you just one little interaction of holding the hot coffee or cold coffee can change your entire perception of how do you look at things. And imagine how many of those bumps and how many of those bombarding things are coming towards you throughout the day. They can take you off the track, whatever track is for you, your goals, your family, your health, your business, whatever, right? So I believe in the morning, you have to go through certain rituals and experiences to prime yourself to stay strong in that track and make sure anything that comes towards you within the day will not actually let you get off that track that easy as that one cup of coffee. And I do that with certain rituals, which I have already kind of a little bit mentioned about. And then another thing you mentioned about the tasks, I use this, I learned it from Tanya Robbins a very long time ago, probably 10 years ago. It called the Rapid Planning Method, RPM. I don't know if you heard of it. I really encourage your audience to actually look into it because that is something which can change their life. This is a lifestyle. This is how you plan. This is how you prioritize. This is how you chunk up anything what you need to do. That is how you actually plan it for a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, for your entire kind of life. And then you kind of come back to it, and that thing actually shows you and lets you know what you need to do at your next step. You don't hold anything in your hand. And this is the special system, what I use to actually achieve a lot within one day and put like more than 24 hours in a day, just because you go through that kind of process.
Just to make sure the audience keeps track of what you are mentioning, this is pretty interesting and I think valuable information as well. So Anthony Robbins, Rapid Planning Method, right? RPM.
Correct. Yes, he has the program, he has the application for it, and it's like he has a book for it and things like that, and he just describes everything what you do, and it's based on what you do, why you do that, what's the reason, why, and only then you get to how, and you get, you as a result, you just work on the most important things because you understand why they are important, what you want to achieve with them, and how they connected with the outcome which you want to achieve. And that's how you filter out all the other noise which might come towards you and be just the to-do tasks which you kind of complete, but they do not impact the outcome of your day, of your life, of your goal.
Yeah, and coming back to your example about hot coffee, cold coffee, and influence and impact on our judgments and so on. This is what's called in psychology framing, right? Relevant framing. I mean, properly designed framing really statistically proven that it influences our decisions. That's true. That's for sure. Interesting. Exactly. And what you're trying to say is that you take advantage of the fact that brain is the most flexible muscle of the body that you can manipulate, right? For good things, or you can manipulate it for bad things. And you learn how to manipulate this muscle. Cool.
Yes. And in the morning, you kind of stock up all those little things which you overcome, and it becomes your brain's program right now. And that runs that program throughout the day and helps you to achieve what you want, not what others kind of throw at you.
Yeah. And you create kind of a protective bubble around you.
Exactly.
First, you know what you want to reach. Two, you know that you will reach it anyways because you believe in yourself, and you create like you create a scale of values, I understand, or of goals, or priority list of goals for today, and you just go at it and without contemplating too much about non-important stuff. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Cool. So RPM by Anthony Robbins, and framing as such is important, I think, for any business person, for a leader, team manager, a sales person, negotiator, and so on and so on. There's so much to there's so much to derive from understanding framing effect. I definitely recommend it as well.
One more thing I would like to mention if we have time for it, to add to it.
All the eternity for you. Let's move on.
Okay, so one more thing, which I also learned from Anthony Robbins, actually. I'm a fan of it, as you might hear already, but he got these things he called the beautiful state. And he teaches you how to live in a beautiful state. And what the beautiful state is, just, you probably know yourself, and your audience also know, sometimes we are in this negative state. We are maybe pissed, we are like angry at someone and things like that, and things don't go well. And in this case, you don't feel good. And probably if you would come now and try to achieve something or do something with this kind of energy, you can imagine that result would not be that good as if you would do that when you like feel excited, you like super pumped, and you like ready to be confident and everything, right? And just imagine if you would if you could manipulate your body and your mind to put yourself in that beautiful state at any moment of the time. So let's say if I want to put myself into, let's say I'm angry, I'm tired, I don't know, and I have to do that call with you, right? I put myself into this state. I want to be in the state. I want to be energetic. Doesn't matter what happened previously up to that minute. How do I do that? Three things: your physiology, the things you focus on, and your language. And first is your physiology. So you have to use your physiology to actually manipulate your emotions. And when you're angry, when you're upset, when you're anxious, you usually kind of, put your shoulders down, your head down, your nose is down, and you kind of feel down, right? But when you're happy, when you're excited, your shoulders are up, your chest is open, your chin is up and everything, right? And that relates, the physiology impacts the emotions, and emotions impact physiology. So if you would just stand straight up, and feel like this hero pose, it's actually scientifically proven for 2 minutes, your chemical reaction into your body will actually release the dopamine and release all those necessary hormones to actually feel better, feel good. And then with that energy, you can jump on the whatever issue, whatever, project you have, and just tackle it within, a certain amount of time, which will take a lot less than you would be in this negative state. So I try to build my day in a way I bring myself into this beautiful state at any point of the day, and I do it with the different other rituals throughout the day, as for example, jumping up and down on my rebounder, which I have in my office right here.
Just to recap, beautiful state, you mentioned 3 elements there: physiology.
Yeah, so physiology,
vocabulary,
physiology. Then you have to change your focus, right? Because whatever we focus on, focus. Whatever we focus on becomes our reality. Although in actuality, it can be a completely different thing. Just think about it. Imagine you have like an issue at your workplace, right? And you all now kind of, you dove into the issue, and it becomes your reality and becomes your world. You generalize too much, your brain generalizes too much, and you think the whole life is that one problem. Although on the other side, you have beautiful family, you have beautiful wife, you maybe, I don't know, you're wealthy and things like that, but you eventually forget about it because you start focus on the things which are right in front of you. So you have to train yourself to focus on the positive things, to see the things from the different perspective. And as soon as you're going to start doing that, your reality will become a completely different thing, because focusing is...
And vocabulary, which is usually as a mantra and like a hypnosis. If you use all the negative vocabulary, here you are frustrated, depressed, and you are contaminating with this feeling and emotion everybody around you. Okay. Exactly. Look, as far as focus also, that was interesting. This phrase, like, choose your dreams carefully, they can come true. And exactly. Now, wait. And now choose your focus carefully, it can destroy your dream.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with that.
Cool.
I agree with that.
Let's move on. Round 4, company. So the company is pretty young, but established by a number of pretty experienced serial business people, should I say, right?
Correct.
And founders are yourself, Igor Lavrinovics, you're head of operations, co-founder, 15 years or so of experience as a founder yourself. I understand investor as well. Who is not an investor coming from Baltic countries? Of course, all of you guys are both on both sides already. Rainis Vaivers, CEO, co-founder as well, serial, of course. Mm-hmm. How many people you have now in the team?
So right now, as of this moment, we have 18 people.
18 already. Okay.
Yes.
Where is the biggest challenge right now as far as team building effort?
I would say the biggest challenge right now, positive challenge, which we need to tackle, is our sales and marketing. and onboard our merchants.
I see. So onboarding is a function of your sales and marketing success.
Yes, correct.
And
because
then
it's a little longer time to actually onboard, especially the merchants which are maybe not familiar with some of the stages of the process, and they want to be educated a little bit. So we need to be there for them to kind of, hold their hand and help them to go through every single stage of the process. As soon as they're there on the other side, they can start selling, and then they feel freely, and they can use our tool on a kind of automated basis.
And the onboarding is one by one, right, approach. So you have to guide by the hand.
So like we do different kind of ways. Sometimes we do, a lot of times we do one by one, and it's like, depends on how many booked calls we have, because we have this, like book your call kind of button all over our platform. And at the same time, we do webinars. By the way, a couple of days ago, I did a webinar where I cover majority of the things which related to onboarding, to people understanding what the process is, how to do the process. I do the demo presentation of our platform. I take a lot of different questions, and this is very interactive experience with anyone who can participate. And we just started this series a couple of days ago, and we're going to keep going and doing it on a constant basis. And that's how we kind of can cover and scale that process.
Yeah, okay, interesting. And what's how many people were watching this first webinar of yours?
So it was 63 participants.
Okay, mostly in States, I understand.
Yeah, mostly in states, and like half of them were like new people who were just trying to see who we are, what we do, and how we work, and what we're all about. Because like our existing clients actually invited some of them and say, hey, if you're interested, remember I told you about these guys, I'm working with them. Hey, just go ahead and just hear it from them. What they do and what they are. So that was very good experience. We have very nice, good questions. We're going to publish it on our YouTube channel today, I think, or tomorrow.
Oh, okay. And as far as this sales position, sales role, I understand this is to cover US, and treat this as your video job ad. How would you advertise this job? Like, who are you looking for?
You mean if you're talking about the salesperson? Yeah. So like that would be the person who actually not only describe the benefits of our products and the things and how the things are work on our side, but would be able to apply the options and opportunities and flexibility of our product to the certain problem that particular merchant who is calling us, or whom we are calling, trying to solve. Because our merchant have issues in different stages of that process of building the brand, launching the product, selling the product, and so on and so on. So in this case, we need the person who could get himself or herself into the shoes of that merchant and try to look at our product in a way how that product would solve that particular issue at this particular moment, and then maybe expand later on and cover any other areas which this merchant want to help with.
Good. Now that you mentioned that it's ideally somebody who understands your merchant, why don't you try and recruit somebody or attract somebody from your 1,500 merchants right now, who are your currently evangelists, and they're active, and so on and so on. And so, and then you convert them into your. That will be a great legend. I mean, a great story, right, to sell.
That's you're right on the money, Alex. We just started to do that. We call it we actually launch it as a partner program. So what we do is we offer our merchants to actually invite someone else who is also want to be merchant on their own to join us, and we actually ready to share the percentage of the revenue we have from that person with the original merchant, which is suggested that person to us. This is another angle we kind of started to look at it, because our merchant actually, like if you are the fitness trainer, if you are like a wellness coach or something like it, you actually have a lot of the huge inner circle of the connections which fit into the category of our potential clients, right? And so we try to incentivize you right now to introduce us to your client, to your potential contacts which you have from that particular field, and that's what we're doing right now. And they're bringing us in their friends, their partners, the gym owners, for example. If I am the fitness trainer working in this fitness gym right now, and I already have my supplement line, I now am interested to involve this gym owner, so maybe he can put like my products on his shelf, or maybe his own products on the shelves of his gym, right? So it's a pretty easy sale because we are in the same industry, in the same niche, in the same thing every single day. So we trying to reach them out the second level kind of the merchants through our existing merchant. Yes.
Wow. So here you are. Choose these partners from among your current merchants, and then kind of assign to them a specific territory or state or something, and you make them kind of master partner for the state. And then once you mentioned levels, and then you create something similar to like MLM with all the positive connotations.
Yeah, kind of MLM. I don't want to call it MLM because I think we do.
Yeah, of course.
And more people, they actually get to know each other. And overall, like we're trying to help those entrepreneurs to succeed, right? And if we can reach out to them through already our successful and at the same time very satisfied customers, this is the way to do it. Is straightforward, way to actually approach them.
You can actually barter with these sales representatives from among your merchants. You can barter in exchange for cheaper or free accounts or something like that, and so you don't have to pay extra money,
Correct.
for
Yes.
Basic salaries, all of that. Okay, interesting. Igor, let's move on. Last but not least, round 5, formula F3 or funding for the future. You just announced a month ago, so your pre-seed financing round being
Correct.
closed, and that was mid-April 2022, $1.5 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Led by Igors, Kessenfelds, 11 Group, Mintos, Sun Finance, and this is pretty recent. But you mentioned already that you are already in the market for the next financing round, right? Why so?
Yes.
Why so quick? You digested this already?
we have not digested it yet, but as it's a private investor, we actually gotten that money earlier when we announced it. So that's why we already had the runway where we were deploying this money in everything what we do right now to get to the point where we're at right now. And now we're projecting what's going to happen next, and we know what the areas we want to deploy that money in, and therefore we think we need to extend our runway as soon as we can, just to make sure to be on a safe side. And therefore we announced another round, and we are now working on that.
How do you define this? Seed?
Yeah, we define it. Yeah, it's a seed round. The previous one was like angel, like pre-seed round from private investor. This is the seed now. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I understand you would target American VCs, right?
Correct. Yes.
Cool. Okay. What do you think about implosions, should I say, of a VC, let's say, markets or activities all around the world? And when early stage startups are probably have to slash their appetites or valuation levels and so on, right? Or at least this is what's going on right now in the whole world.
Yes, that's happening right now. It's not that easy to raise that money, and at the same time, the appetite is pretty big. And everybody, of course, want to see sales. Everybody want to see this traction. Everybody want to see already you kind of keep going, and they just need to kind of pour this gasoline on already like burning fire, just to explode it further, and they don't want to take any risks and things like that. So obviously, that thing becomes a little bit more difficult. That's why we're trying to go and evolve and grow as fast as we can, just to show what we have, a kind of database of clients we already have. And I would say we're pretty successful so far. We can show the good numbers. We can show the technology behind it, because we have implemented the very complicated and sophisticated tools on the back end to actually support all this mechanism which are happening within the platform, all the designing and everything like that. And at the same time, it helps us because this is the tool which we use to help automate and optimize lives of our clients. That is an essential thing.
And on this positive note, I think we should finish and end this podcast. Thank you very much, Igor. Yet another example, I think, of a Baltic, let's say, startup from the Baltic region that almost immediately after establishing a company in the home country, leap over Europe, over the ocean, and target the biggest markets. And with experienced startup founders, as you guys are at the steering wheel of this company, I think we could safely say that you will find your place under the American sun, should I say, and we'll be able to expand pretty quickly. Thank you very much. That was interesting, enriching, and really motivational, especially the part about the how to pump yourself and get ready for the day as a founder, co-founder, team leader. And we'll be following your successes.
Thank you for having me here, Alex. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.